Let's see if we can do this a little bit quicker and maybe run through our 5 worst movies of 2012. This is my favorite part because I'm a bit of an a-hole. So let's see. We'll start with you, Brandon. What were your 5 worst movies of 2012?
I'll keep it short. I'll go with probably the worst one on the list, Battleship.
Agreed.
Agreed. Battleship. It looked good from the trailers. Now, I did have some questions in my head when I first saw the first
No, it didn't.
trailer.
It really didn't.
But when I finally saw it, the biggest problem for me was the writing. I think was the second worst thing. But I think the first thing was just how the action was orchestrated. The action, though it was intense, it was inconsistent. I mean, it was slow. Like when an action sequence took place, it took like 30 minutes. It just was out of place. And you know, I mean,
in my personal movie buff opinion, there was nothing wrong with Battleship that couldn't have been fixed by Pearl Harbor. And I don't mean the crappy Ben Affleck movie. I mean an actual attack by Japanese bombers. What else you got?
All right, I have Snow White and the Huntsman. I'll keep this short. Kristen Stewart's in it. Number 3. I will have to say House at the End of the Street. Yes, Jennifer Lawrence is in it, but after doing some research, this was early on before she became, you know, a big star. So this was early on in her film career. So. You know,
so you think the crappiness of that movie was only based on how big of a star she was or wasn't when it was made?
Yeah, because she wasn't really known. She wasn't really known too much.
And if she was better known, the movie would have been better.
Yes.
Same writing, same acting, same everything.
Exactly. And next one probably is going. I'll have to go with Red Dawn. Red Dawn, the remake of that one. Now I will say this. I will give it credit. It wasn't as bad as all the critics said it was, but I felt like the ending just left. I mean, it just ended. It ended with the prison break and just what happens now? It's
Spoiler
just
alert.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks for giving
away.
You know,
that's
point watching the movie now.
As though there was before, but still.
Netflix. Last one I would have to say would be Red. I would probably have to say would be Red Tails. It has something to do with the Tuskegee Airmen, and it was just.
It has no idea what the movie's about.
Of course,
it really doesn't.
It was horrible, even though I don't know what it was about.
Airplanes and black people.
Cuba Gooding Jr. and Terrence Howard were in this film, and I just felt like
they could save the movie.
The act, it really wasn't the acting. I think it was the writing. Now, of course, when you have George Lucas in there, I mean, you write what you want, the opinion of George Lucas. But I think probably if the writing had been a little bit better, and they could have promoted it a little bit more, I think that it could have done a little bit better. So that would probably be my top worst movies.
So your bottom 5 movies.
My bottom 5 movies.
All right.
Yes.
AC.
Well,
let's hear it.
On top of all the bad movies, I agree with Snow White. I got all the way to the end of the movie. All the way to the end. They're about to fight the witch and just fell asleep. I was like, number 1, it was bland. The only thing cool was Thor was in the movie and playing Thor, pretty much. So that's
basically it.
Yeah, I like the part where the huntsman had a big hammer. That was really
yeah. I was like, oh, cool. But except for that, garbage. I thought Men in Black 3 was a good story. I liked the way they tied up all 3 movies. Yeah. I thought it was a garbage movie. Another one that 20 minutes into the movie I fell asleep. I rented a DVD, I fell asleep. I finally watched it when I was sober, and I was like, oh, this is really bad. Bad effects. Barry Sonnenfeld, shame on you for making this movie.
I think I found what the problem was. You're watching far too many movies you're reviewing while drunk. Finally watched it when I was sober on the 5th try, and
oh boy. I thought Men in Black 3, Men in Black 2 was 2002. 1997 was Men in Black 1. 10 years later, the effects were as bad as they were in 1997. These were really bad effects, very bad execution, very bad villain. Nothing was good about this movie. The only thing that was good about the movie was the way the story ties up all 3 movies. It had a little bit of heart-touching. It does tie in the facts. It's like a circle, and I like that. But you screw the story away, the whole movie's garbage to watch, even though I watched it 3 times. Total Recall. Colin Farrell's the king of remakes. We all know it. We all know Colin Farrell's in every remake, good or bad. Everyone's bad.
Yeah.
Pretty much everyone's been bad. Total Recall, I was highly anticipated. I love the original. I watched it every Saturday. My dad watched it every Saturday, no joke, literally, in the 90s.
It's unfortunate you didn't grow up with a life.
Well, even worse is that this film, Very futuristic. Len Wiseman's a great director. Of course, he chooses his wife to be the main villain, Kate Beckinsale, who's in every Len Wiseman movie, except for Live Free or Die Hard. But
I think we're all grateful for that.
if you're going to make a remake of a great classic by Paul Verhoeven, make a remake, make it close to them. He wanted to do something completely different. It wasn't violent. Paul Verhoeven's is ultra violent. This one's not violent. This was more futuristic. Doesn't take place in Mars. It has mutants, but we don't really see the mutants. I just thought it was really weak execution. Beautiful scenery, beautiful action, everything. The set designs were awesome.
Chick with the 3 tits.
Chick with 3 tits.
I knew he was gonna go there.
But she only showed.
It's the only place to go, man.
She only showed him for a second. But the bad part was, you had all these great, beautiful elements to put me in a new futuristic environment. I'm like, yeah, I'm in the story. And you give me garbage story, garbage villain, and I was very unhappy with the film. I think Colin Farrell, just stay away from remakes. You're awesome at everything else. Brandon, a movie no one talks about. We saw the trailers in 2012. It hyped us up, gave us this Matrix feel. Unfortunately, the trailer is the whole entire movie. This movie's almost 3 hours long. It's Russian-based, mostly in English, but Russian-based film. Very bad execution, and everything you saw in the trailer is exactly the only interesting parts of the movie. So if you add it up, it was about 2 minutes of anything interesting. Brandon's a film, actually, if you guys don't know, it's about advertising, and I thought they were going to go the Matrix route. Very mysterious, with weird things happening, and it took you in a whole different route, had a very bad ending, very boring. Good actors, Lily Sobieski's in it, and Jeffrey Tambor's in it. That's it, and that takes you nowhere. And the last one on my terrible list, I have to disagree with Brandon. He might love the Hunger Games. I totally was like bored to the Hunger Games. I was looking at everything but the movie. I was hoping there would be a shot of something interesting. I expected a lot more. I felt like I was gonna watch another Twilight, and I'm just like, there's a movie with kids with swords and weapons, but they're slashing each other up, and I didn't see a hint of blood. I saw good acting, good story, but we've seen it before. Battle Royale. It's a remake of Battle Royale. So, and I watched foreign films, and it's a Japanese foreign film. It's a classic for people who love Japanese classics. And you're watching this, and I'm like, wow, they just stole Battle Royale completely, not scene for scene, but even the storyline at the end when the two are getting together about to battle each other and it ends, it's like, oh, well, I've seen this before. So to me, I didn't think it was so awesome.
I hate it when a director just steals a Japanese movie scene for scene, Quentin Tarantino. Well, thanks.
Which one?
All of them. Which one would you like? I mean, honestly. Well, I'll just throw out mine real quick. I agreed. I had Battleship on my list. I had Snow White and the Huntsman on my list. A couple that didn't get mentioned that I had on my list. Alex Cross.
What? I love that movie. I thought that was one of the better movies of the year.
Yeah, they should have just called it Medea drops the dress and gets a gun. I mean, it was just brilliant. It was bad from top to bottom. Horrible movie. Tyler Perry. People have been asking for years to just stop doing Medea. I think I'd like to ask you to just stop.
Just stop altogether?
Yeah, completely. Breathing, you know, whatever he feels like he needs to stop, please do it. Another movie that you guys didn't mention, I'm a little surprised, 1,000 Words.
No, 1,000 Words.
Never saw it.
The steamy pile of horribleness that Eddie Murphy has most recently excreted. Eddie, take a note from Tyler Perry and just stop. Just don't.
Eddie, your comedy hasn't been good since Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's
what about the Nutty Professor?
That's the last one.
That's the last one. Okay.
That was a long time ago.
Fair enough. And the last movie that was on my bottom 5 of the year, The Dark Knight Rises.
Whoa.
I hated this movie.
Oh.
Longtime Batman fan. I did enjoy Dark Knight. Batman Begins, another horrible turd of a movie. I can't express with enough hatred how much I disliked Dark Knight Rises. Wow. I found it boring, poorly written, badly acted. Bane was a weak character. They destroyed the comic book Bane. It was unfun to watch. I did not enjoy a minute of it. I figured out all the plot twists halfway through the movie because they gave all of it away if you were actually paying attention.
Charlie Al Ghul, you figured that out?
Yeah.
Robin?
You knew she was Talia al Ghul? You didn't know Robin. I had no one knew Robin.
No one knew Robin, but then again, it's not really Robin. It's faux Robin. But anyway, this isn't nerds discuss comic book movies. This is we watch movies. So.